I want is something that's mine. I mean, is that too much to ask? Lydia dabs at the underneath of her eyes with the heel of her hand. We're drinking in the Princess Louise near her Holborn office, crammed in with the after-work crowd, valiantly clinging on to the corner of a table that is slowly being taken over by 20-somethings intent on getting noisily wasted. Every now and then one of them gives us a hungry stare, willing us to leave so they can achieve total table domination, but scared to actually say anything because one of the middle-aged ladies seems to be crying into her Pinot Noir. Lydia flaps her hands at her face like a primitive airdryer. She's always telling me off for rubbing my eyes. "You'll give yourself wrinkles," she says, as if they're a disease that can be avoided with a little self-restraint. Lydia is my longest-standing friend, my surrogate sister. We have an unbreakable partnership that began more than 20 years ago when we were art students together, a stone's throw from here, both studying illustration, a double act from the moment we first met, although I'd never understood why she even noticed me among our cool, confident contemporaries. We'd both chosen a sensible art path, one that could actually lead to a career. Later, Lydia had landed on a steady road upwards at a small publisher producing educational books. Not doing the illustrations, but commissioning and overseeing those who did. I'd played the role of starving artist in a garret to perfection for a few years before, somehow lucking out when the animations I sometimes placed on Twitter, featuring a wallaby with a penchant for filling up his pouch with random shopping, caught the eye of an editor whose kid loved it. There have now been 6 books featuring Wilbur. They make no sense. Wilbur is clearly a boy, but he has a pouch. He spends most of his time at the shops. He apparently has an endless supply of money. None of this seems to matter in the children's publishing world. Cats become mayors, dogs work in offices. It's a world we'd all love to live in, let's be honest. They've all sold well. I'm by no means rich, but I'm doing okay. More than okay. And I'm managing to make what I love my full-time job. I know that's enviable. My problems are firmly in the first world. I just have terrible imposter's guilt. They're the most simplistic drawings I've ever done. No real skill necessary. Wilbur is a few strokes of the pen, as are his friends, Walter the Wombat and Olga the Opossum. No perspective, no elaborate backdrops. There are very few words, and those that there are mostly lists of goods he's decided to purchase, but in rhyming form. I've basically turned my weekly shop into a living, with added marsupials. I'm better than this. I have talent. More to the point, other people, Lydia included, have way more talent than me. But apparently, no one has noticed. I've just signed a contract for books 7 and 8. Life is good. Lydia, on the other hand, hates her job. She loathes the relentless routine, the lack of any creativity. "When you've seen one illustration of the ventricles of the heart, you've seen them all," she said to me once. Her company produces a lot of medical textbooks. She hates having to get up in the mornings, having to get on the tube, having to eat a sandwich lunch at her desk to avoid the small talk of her colleagues. She hates not getting home till 6:45 on a good day, knowing she has to do it all again tomorrow. Whenever I moan about the fact that I think I'm selling myself short, which I try not to do too often, she tells me she'd kill to be in my position. She's recently opened an Etsy shop, a sideline to try to keep her sanity rather than a money-making scheme. She wants to be able to show she's more than just someone who works in an office showcasing other people's talent. Her speciality is line drawings in ink, scratchy, darkly beautiful depictions of fairies and trolls. Nothing cutesy. They're gnarly and more than a little evil-looking. Underworld spirits. Beneath her polished exterior, Lydia hides murky waters. Deeper than you'd think on first glance. It's one of the things about her that I love. She's created a whole world of intricate detail. Family trees, relationships, maps of her creatures' homes in the forest. They deserve a book of their own. Instead, they are printed to order on T-shirts and greeting cards. Hours of artistic endeavour embossed on a tea towel, $7.95, plus postage and packaging. The Etsy shop was my idea. I thought it might get Lid's work noticed, at least get her some kind feedback. What it has actually got her is nothing. So far, she hasn't sold a single item. I set her up with a Twitter account so that she could promote it. She's Instagram through and through, but she doesn't think it fits with her brand to be trying to flog stuff on there. I have no idea what that means.